All right, let's see what we got. All right, so tomorrow we got housing starts, building permits. Today we don't really have much. We got the home builder confidence index, which is not really the biggest release. Wednesday we got the rate hike decision. Thursday jobless claims, the Philly Fed index, existing home sales, and then Friday we got services and manufacturing PMI. We don't really have any big earnings. I know we have like MU releasing their earnings. I believe it's next week. I'm not 100% sure. So I want to say MU is next week. Nike BB is Thursday next week. Let's go back. Yeah, so MU is actually Wednesday on the 27th. They're expecting a 118 loss per share. It is the FOMC week. Again, market dipped a little bit Friday. We're also going to be watching like the ARM IPO. What's up, Breeze, Farah, Integrity. There's the Q on the left. Here's ARM. You can see Tesla. Tesla had a flat day. It's at 270s. Again, NVIDIA is kind of weighing in on the markets. As I suggested last week, NVIDIA is really going to be one of the biggest influence over markets because it's just up so much and it's unlikely to hold. What's up, Beach? What's up, JP? All right, we're going to do a poll. There's a market bounce this week on the FOMC rate hike decision. Vote on that poll. That's live. All right. Yeah, so I'm sure somebody's going to ask me. I got this Band-Aid on my neck. I got but yeah, no, I got in a collar choke in jiu-jitsu. I kind of scratched my neck a little bit, so I put a Band-Aid over it. That's what it was. That way it doesn't get worse. Bro, where's the pool? You mean the poll? Do I really need to remind you that we love seeing what other people think for validation? Hey, it's all good, man. The poll is right at the top of the chat, brother. What's up, Edwin? So what does ARM bring that existing chip makers don't? Hype. Again, y'all bump the like button if you can. It's super helpful. Just hitting the like button early is helpful. So if you haven't already hit the like button, we appreciate it. What's up, Raphael? Yeah, bump the like button, guys. We appreciate it. Thank you. All right, so yeah, ARM IPO. There's NVIDIA. Again, the market's really getting weighed by NVIDIA here. If we look at everything else, right? Like everything else didn't really have that big of a red day on Friday. The only thing that really weighed the market down is NVIDIA. NVIDIA had a really big red day, dropped all the way from 450s down to 434s, right? So NVIDIA is really what tanked. The rest of the market actually held pretty well relative to everything else. So like if you look at Walmart, not the worst red day in the world. Google, kind of a flat day. We can keep going back. Microsoft's sympathy movement from NVIDIA is there. So Microsoft is an AI stock that's going to move with NVIDIA to a certain extent, and you can see other AI stocks kind of move with it. But that's the point I'm trying to make here, is that everything wasn't super red, just microchip and tech was. So that's what happened last week. Again, leading into the rate hike decision this week. Again, number one, usually every major red day, people act like it's the end of the world and that the sky is falling. And so the first thing I'm going to do is show you guys, look, here's the long-term chart. This is Friday's dip. Let's not sensationalize it more than it is just because people want the market to drop. That's the dip, not the end of the world. If you put a weekly chart up, it's even smaller. So, yeah, here's a weekly chart. You can see the little blip there. So yeah, we had a red day Friday. We'll see if we bounce back today. Because of that red day, I guess my bias is on the upside for today, but who knows what's going to happen. Let me know what you guys think. Do you guys think the market's going to bounce today? Do you think it's going to go up, down, sideways? Let me know. A little Tesla bounce. Yeah, Tesla actually was one of the best holding stocks. Tesla's still at 270s. And look, it didn't really drop that much Friday either. Back up to 275 in pre-market. Starting to run a little bit. See if there's any news. Yeah, I don't really see any Tesla news. I'm looking for it. All right, so Saudi Arabia is in talks with Tesla about setting up a manufacturing facility there. People familiar with discussions said as part of an ambitious push by the kingdom to secure metals needed for EVs and help diversify its economy away from oil. All right, so that is what came out. That is why Tesla is bouncing. That came out about 2 minutes ago. So that is why Tesla is popping up a little bit. But yeah, this is good news for Tesla. All right, so we're gonna put this news up so you guys can see it. All right, so again, all right, team. So again, we're reading this. All right, so here's basically the news for Tesla. You can kind of see Tesla rip up on this news. Again, Saudi Arabia is in talks with Tesla about setting up a manufacturing facility there as part of an ambitious... oh, wait, hold on, let me fix this. Part of an ambitious plan to secure metals needed for EVs and help diversify away from oil. What they're saying. So that's the news right there for Tesla. You can see Tesla liking this report, obviously up to 276.18 now. Yeah, definitely good news. Amazon dropped hard Friday. Yeah. Amazon dropped like 2.5%. It wasn't the biggest drop. It was like 2.5%, which is pretty normal of a drop. What really weighed on Friday was NVIDIA. NVIDIA weighed the market down heavily. I'm not saying Amazon didn't. Amazon, obviously, another heavily weighted stock. Bro, where's my mouse? There it is. Dude, I always lose my mouse. There it is. All right. Yeah. But NVIDIA, again, if we look at NVIDIA, Tesla up on this news. If we look at NVIDIA here on the right side, NVIDIA, dropped pretty substantially here too. So let's figure out how big this drop was, right? So it's at 456. It dropped from 456 down to 434s, right? So let's do the math percentage-wise. Let's do the percentage math here if we can. So again, 456 down to 434. $22. Now it dropped about... Now, we're going to divide this by 4.5 and see that NVIDIA dropped almost 5% over the last day or two. So, almost 5% dip. Maybe a little bit less if you consider just what it dropped on Friday, but NVIDIA with almost 5% dip. That's a big drop. We'll see if it holds, but that's a pretty big drop, just to do the math there, the percentage math. So, yeah, that's a big dip. We'll see if it holds. Again, NVIDIA, very overpriced. Again, we've been saying this for months now. High PE ratio, extended on the upside. Not really one that I'm necessarily wanting to buy at these current levels. This dip we might buy into. So maybe we'll buy into this dip. We'll see. But yeah, let me know what you guys think. I need a Tesla pop. Yeah, Tesla actually surprisingly held these gains and is honestly green relative to the close. So up in pre-market, green on the day so far with Tesla. NVIDIA down, again, weighing on the market. Again, bump the like buttons. Super helpful if you can. 67% of people think the market bounces this week on the FOMC rate hike decision. 33% say no, it doesn't bounce. What do you think about ARM? Is it a buy now or wait for further drop? I'm not sure. I mean, ARM is a recent IPO, and so it's still in that stage of just high volatility. I mean, it's gone from, where it IPO'd at 50. Let's see where it IPO'd at. Yeah, so this thing IPO'd at 56, went all the way up to 70, back down to 60 now. And so slightly green relative to its IPO, but with weakness in microchips, I think it's weighing. right now in the market. I think there's risk for sure, but you never know. And again, if we look at ARM here on the right side, number one, you can see NVIDIA down a lot. ARM is kind of following suit with that. It's certainly risky, but it also has a high reward potential if it does well. So it just depends on what your style is of trading, if that's the risk style that you like or not, and everybody's different. Hey, what's up, Todd? Yeah, absolutely, man. Honestly, I hear myself repeating quotes from The Wolf of Wall Street as well as The Big Short. You know, two of my favorite quotes in the market, like something you'll hear me say pretty regularly, are taken as inspiration from those movies. The first one is that where you'll hear me say pretty regularly, nobody knows if this is going to go up, down, or sideways. You know, especially not next week or whatever it is, right? Kind of a variation of what they said in that movie, The Wolf of Wall Street, Matthew McConaughey. But it's absolutely true. You know, nobody knows. We're all just guessing here. The other one is Michael Burry, a Michael Burry quote. And the quote goes, I look for value wherever value can be found, you know, and that's something that I use a lot, and a lot of people don't understand it. A lot of people get mad. Again, I pretty regularly buy up stocks that have these huge hated followings. Like they have just people hating on them, like Target, Disney. Like these are some of my favorite stocks. And again, it's not like I have a side in their political stuff. Like I have nothing to do with any of that. I just think there's objective value. I think there's value there. I think when Target dips down huge percentages, there's value there. I think when Disney dips down to, 5-year lows, there's value there, regardless of what people think, regardless of how much people hate them or whatever it is. And so I just buy those up a lot of the time and then just sit on it. Disney has done me really well, over the last couple years, really, for Disney swing trades. Disney all the way back up to 86. We're still in it. We've already taken a lot of profit off of it because we could. TGT, Target, we got in this one. I'll have to look at where we bought Target, but we bought it around 120, sold it around 130 or 127s or so. So Target, we're still green, still sitting on that one. Yeah, I mean, that one's definitely risky, Charles. I'm not saying I dislike it or whatever. I just think it's risky. The reason I think it's more inherently risky than the other couple I'm talking about is because they really have one business model, right? Like, okay, Target, super diversified. Like, people are going to go to Target, right? When I go to Target still, it's busy. Like, there's a lot of people there, a lot of people making sales. Target's still busy. A lot of people still go there. Same thing with regards to Disney, right? Disney Plus, huge subscription model. A lot of people still use it. There's just a lot of people that still use Disney stuff, right? Regardless of any controversy elsewhere, people still use Disney. Bud is a different thing, right? Like Bud, yeah, I'm not going to get too deep into it, but I think Bud is inherently more risky than some of these other ones. So it's not one that I'm necessarily going to buy. I'm not a huge beer drinker myself. Like, I don't really drink beer like that. So I don't really care either way about what happens to them. But yeah, for sure. I mean, again, generally, I'm just looking for really big pullbacks, like emotional, like overreactions is what I'm looking for. That's generally what I want. I want overreactions. And so when I see something that drops huge percentages short term, it's just highly probable that it's going to bounce back, in my opinion. Those are usually the plays I'm looking at the most, that I'm targeting the most. It's just plays like that where I just think it's highly probable they're going to bounce back. Same thing with Disney, same thing with Target. And they did bounce back. They worked out great. Hey, nice, Giovanni. Congrats, brother. Nice, man. Hey, what's up, team? We're still green in ARM too. We're probably you know, I know we all right, guys. So Tesla giving back all of its gains here. Look at these drops. So Tesla ripped up on the news. Again, you can kind of see the news at the bottom of the screen about SA in talks with Tesla about setting up a manufacturing facility there as part of an ambitious plan to secure metals needed for EV and help diversify. So yeah, interesting here for sure. Again, Powell this week. Again, Powell this week, Wednesday. Hey, John, just finished my combine this morning. Do you know how long it takes to get roughly into the funded account? Yeah, I mean, for me, it took like 2 days. So within like a day or two, they had it set up. You know, you'll have to sign a contract for the funded account and all that stuff. So it depends. Again, bump that like count. Let's get over 50 quick. Yeah, it took about, that's what, for me too, Alyssa, it took about 2 days. All right, guys. So Tesla at 274.40s. ARM down there too. So let's see if this previous closing price holds for Tesla here. All right, so we did bounce a little bit at that previous closing price level here, a small bounce there. Do you have any lag? I'm trying to log into my Top Step account. I'm getting some lag. Any lag on y'all's end on the Top Step site? Yeah, FOMC is Wednesday at 2 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. So basically what happens, and again, I'll explain the procedure. So it's because it's important that people understand the procedure, right? So with the rate hike decisions, again, the reason the Fed raises rates is because inflation fears, right? If inflation's really bad, they raise rates. They raise the federal funds rate is what they're raising. They're not directly raising interest rates. They're raising the federal funds rate, which in turn causes the banks to have worse margins and raise interest rates. And so if inflation is really elevated and everybody's fearing that, then a lot of the time they'll be more aggressive in those rate hikes. But those rate hikes can cause short-term pain in markets because, again, when they're raising the federal funds rate, they're in turn raising interest rates. That makes people stop spending, and lack of spending is necessary isn't necessarily good for the market, if that makes sense, right? So anyways, the overarching expectation on Wednesday is for a skip or a pause, which means that they're not going to be raising rates. And again, the people who are the most affected by rate hikes are the banks. When the regional banks failed earlier this year, one of the reasons they blame those failures on was the rate hikes that we had over the last year or two. And so the Fed doesn't want to just never-endingly raise rates. They do want to have some type of time to let the banks stay afloat, so that it just doesn't cause financial turmoil. And again, this upcoming rate hike decision, they're expecting, I think like last time I looked at it was 97% of people were expecting a rate hike, we're expecting a pause. And yeah, it's basically the same. It's even more profound now. So again, leading up to the week, 99%, 99% of people are expecting a pause or a skip on Wednesday. And so that's almost certainly what we're going to get. You can see only 1% of people expecting a rate hike of 25 basis points from 550 to 575. So again, we'll see what happens. But yeah. I am using Quant Tower, but it's my favorite one. But everybody's a little different. Yeah, I don't know what it is. I don't know if it's my computer or what. Get out of that and try on phone. Weird, dude. I don't know what's wrong with my computer. Also, I don't know why one monitor is yellow. Why is this one yellow? Oh, whatever. I don't know if it's just my computer or what's going on here, but I can't log in. Let me try. See if I can trade. As long as I can trade, I'm okay. Yeah, so this is not on just my computer. This is on my phone. Can somebody try to log into their Top Step dashboard and see if it's just me or if it's like it's frozen on my end? Let me know if you could log into your Top Step dashboard. All right, let's figure this out. Charts. No data. Maybe it's just my computer. Log out of this. Log out of Quant Tower. We log back in. Okay, my dashboard isn't working either. Yeah, I'm trying to log in. Definitely getting some errors. Yeah. Yeah, I'm trying on connecting to Quant Tower now, see if it works. So it's loading symbols. Bitcoin over 27K. Hey, good for it, man. Yeah, 27.3K. Again, let's see if that spot ETF's approved. That's what's going to be the big thing. Yeah, I've tried turning it off and back on. Again, if Quant Tower works, it doesn't matter. All right, yeah, so I'm in Quant Tower now. I'm pretty sure this works too. Yeah, so I'm in this. NQZ3 is the symbol. All right, so yeah, we're good. I mean, as long as I can take trades, let's see. So here's my funded account. I'm going to put the micro NASDAQ up so I can just take one trade. And this is our actual funded account. Oh no, this is the regular NQ. I didn't want this. What? What? Why did it force me to just exit? What in the world just happened, man? Where'd the symbol go? Am I still in it? Okay, good. I am still in it. Sheesh, bro. All right, so yeah, I got out of in profit, but like that was weird. Something happened when I switched symbols, but yeah, it's working fine. So I was able to do it. Yeah, so we're up on our actual funded account. This is our actual funded account. We just made 25 bucks, which is fine. Good thing I short instead of going long. But yeah, so Quant Tower seems to be working fine. Check Twitter, see if there's any news coming out. All right, guys. Yeah, basically seeing more people arguing. Let's keep going. All right, so an $80 million jet is missing, flying with no pilot. Military officials are searching for a jet after the pilot ejected. The jet has not crashed and has continued to fly on autopilot. The public is asking to cooperate with military authorities as the recovery efforts continue. That ain't good. All right, so the Bengals 0-2. Nobody remind me. The Saints Monday Night Football tonight. Yeah. Instacart IPO tomorrow. Yeah, Joey Burrow. Saints tonight, though. Hey, John, an EQT insider sold shares worth $828 million, according to a recent SEC filing. What should be the reading here? Is that a sign of a possible drop on that stock? I don't even know anything about that stock, though, brother. EQT, almost $1 billion shares. Yeah, I mean, that's not a good sign, of course. And they have to understand how it's going to impact the stock as well. I just don't know anything about EQT. PayPal down after a downgrade. Yeah, PayPal still, if you put up a 20-day chart, it's still very green, even with this latest dip. So it's over 63 still. And actually, we're in a PayPal position. We've been holding it for, a while. So, yeah. Yeah, that's kind of what happens, Giovanni, when you start trading them. How oil doing? Oil is still doing pretty good. I mean, it's up today. If we look at Exxon, for instance, there goes Tesla dipping under the previous close. If we look at Exxon here, Exxon dipped a little bit on Friday. It wasn't this crazy parabolic drop like a lot of other stuff did. And now we're bouncing up a little bit. I'm still in Exxon. You can kind of see I've been holding Exxon for a little bit. We're up about $100 or so on this position that we've been in. Just kind of letting this ride, trying to be patient. Market want to tank hard. I mean, not really. Again, if we look at the SPY, every red day, the market, like people who want the market to drop say it's the end of the world, right? But again, if we look at a long-term chart here, I don't think we can ignore the huge uptrend that we've been in. Again, I don't necessarily think we're in trouble until we start breaking down under this. We start breaking down under 400, that's different. On the SPY, I mean, under 400 on the SPY. On the S&P 500, if we start breaking down under 4,200 or so, 4,000 maybe even. Again, that's a different story. Under 4,000 on the S&P. On the Q, if we start breaking down under, I would say under like 320s, 330s, then it's a different story. But again, we're nowhere near that right now. And, Friday's mostly down. The question is NVIDIA. Like NVIDIA is mostly what's weighing in on the market. NVIDIA ripped up to 520 on the 23rd of August. And now it's basically given back that entire gain. And now it's all the way back down to the 430. So NVIDIA has been one that's going to be wildly influential over what the market does. Just because it's so volatile as a microchip stock. If we put up a daily chart, NVIDIA, it's still kind of in this trend that we drew. But again, this is one of those stocks that can have a major influence over sentiment direction of stocks. I have 10 shares of PayPal at 180. Ooh, man, that's tough. AMD, no, I'm not in AMD right now. I just don't, again, I'm not going to buy AMD. I'd rather just buy NVIDIA if I'm going to buy it, but I don't trust it enough right now. Maybe if we dip enough, I'll consider adding to a position there, but for now, I'm just sitting tight. I'm just not sure what we want to do there. Yeah, my Top Step Trader dashboard is frozen. All right, team. Yeah, we're looking at some other stuff too, but yeah, so it sounds like I'm not the only one having issues. All right, so it looks like Tradeovate and TradingView are back on Top Steps. If you want to use TradingView and Tradeovate, I think you can. Yeah, so again, Tradeovate, TradingView accounts are back up today. So again, if you like TradingView, Tradeovate, Todd, I know Todd was talking about. I don't think you can use them now, but if you open up another account, you can use them. I don't think you could switch accounts, is what I'm saying. But yeah, Nike has earnings next Thursday. SoFi, man, it's been a minute since I even heard anybody mention SoFi. Yeah, SoFi up to 912. So SoFi's had a nice little run back up. I just don't know much about it. It's at $9 here. Good year, bad weekly. So what's up, Tyler? Is there a place to get a list of all the tickers for Top Step? Yeah, I mean, you could trade the E-mini, the NASDAQ, the Dow, gold, silver, precious metals. Like, there's a place to get the list. Look, so if you go to Top Step and then you go to, let's see where it was, man. I've seen this a few times. You go to Top Step and then you go to help, I think. Maybe that's not it. Maybe it's how it works. Or it could be resources, actually, I think. Maybe no. Okay, so maybe it's program, how it works. Yeah, here it is. So here's the full product list. All right, so yeah, here's the full product list right here. Todd, if you want it. Some investors are careful about ARM because it is a GPU but a CDU company, but I don't really know another IPO with SoFi as an underwriter will be Instacart on the 20th. I bought 67 puts at $60 strike price for October 6th on PayPal Friday, but long term, I think PayPal goes over 70 once Chris does some restructuring. Would like to enter long at 62. Hey, good luck, man. Again, I think PayPal will probably be fine long term. The question just is, where does it go short term? And again, I'm in PayPal right now long just to show you my bias there. And we're still green on the day. Or no, not green on the day. We're red on the day, but we're green on the trade is what I meant. Where our average price is 62s and it's at 63.20. So. Yeah, I don't know if it's something on the site. Is it just me, guys, or can y'all log into your Top Step dashboard? I can't log in. I've tried my phone. I've tried Microsoft Edge browser. I've tried all this different stuff, but All right, again, NVIDIA is going to be the interesting thing. It's at 439. Still breaking down. Look at the 430 break, actually. So it's at 430s now. So NVIDIA is still falling down some here. And again, this is weighing on the rest of the market for sure, without question. Again, this leading into the rate hike decision this week. Maybe we'll get a volatile week. ARM trying to pop back up over the VWAP here, but look at Tesla fall down. Look at NVIDIA dip. Again, NVIDIA is the weak one this morning. NVIDIA is really what's been weighing on the market the last couple days. All right, team. All right, so NVIDIA down at 431. Part of me wants to buy it, but I also could imagine like there might be some squeeze. I'm going to buy this with a small position here if I can. Just a small position, guys. Again, I'm not going to go too super hard into this. I just don't trust it enough to really want to. All right, there we go. That should be good enough. I just want to buy a little piece of this. So like, I'm going to buy 10 shares. Let's see if we can get a bounce. It's just down so much. I think it's reasonable to potentially get in on that dip. It's just down so much the last few days that maybe we'll start to see some uptrends. But again, I'm catching a falling knife here. I don't necessarily recommend this, but you know, it's worth a shot. All right, so again, we got a little dip here. Tesla down a little bit as well. And again, Tesla did have this news story today about Saudi Arabia potentially partnering with them to try to diversify away from oil and more EV focused. So yeah, it'll be fun. Catch back up. I can log in on a Chrome browser. Yeah, mine's weird, man. Yeah, the dashboard is really what struggle. I can log in the Quant Tower and trade, and I tested a trade already, and that works fine. I just can't. I can't log in on my dashboard. Yeah, Quant Tower's fine. Anyone problem to connect with Top Step? I'm having an issue connecting to the dashboard, Jello. Yeah, I remember September's the worst month in the markets, for sure. And yeah, I mean, September has an average loss in markets of 1%. So it's definitely yeah. All right, so we're up slightly NVIDIA. And again, the question is, does NVIDIA keep bouncing back? We only got 10 shares. It's not the end of the world if this thing goes against us. I just think it's down enough. All right, so Kathy Woods put out something yesterday, and it says, quote, if ARK Invest's research is correct, then total auto sales, including EVs, peaked in 2017. The capacity utilization of an autonomous vehicle could be 10x or more that of a human-driven vehicle, 40 to 50% versus 4 to 5% of the day. So, interesting. Yeah, people are getting mad at Kathy about holding so many Roku shares. I kind of understand. Like, I'm skeptical. So if you invested $20,000 into Monster Beverage, you would make $18.7 million today. In Apple, if you invested $20,000, and again, this is why. Okay, like I try to tell people the value of investing. Right? Like I try to tell people the value of investing and like why investing is a good move. Even if you day trade on the side, right? You get a lot of people that bet against the market long term. They bet against blue chips long term. They bet against the biggest companies in the world like Apple, Amazon, so forth and so on, right? This is a crazy stat. I'm not sure if this is real or not, but this is a crazy stat, right? So if you bought Apple 20 years ago, you would have 9 million today with $20,000. If you invested 20K into Apple 20 years ago, you'd have $9 million today. If you invested 20K into NVIDIA 20 years ago, you'd have $5.5 million today. If you invested 20,000 into Netflix 20 years ago, you'd have 3.1 million. If you invested 20,000 into Amazon 20 years ago, you'd have 1.2 million. The crazy one is Monster. If you invested 20K into Monster, you'd have basically 19 mil. And so again, that's why I tell people, buy and sit on large caps if you can, at least like keep some of your portfolio like that, because like you can be short biased. You can call yourself a contrarian and bet against markets or do whatever you want to do, right? To sound cool. If you're not putting at least a little money long-term into these healthy companies like this, into large blue chip companies, you're missing out here. And so diversify. And then again, crypto ripping up here. If you have a $10,000 car and a $1 million net worth, people think you're broke. But if you have an $80,000 car and a $10K net worth, people think you're rich. 100%, yeah. All right, so again, here's a quote from ICO Drops. I don't know if this is true or not, but again, I'm going to quote this here just because we're talking about crypto. Again, SEC Insider says Chief Gary Gensler has told friends and advisors that he would like to gracefully extricate himself from his, quote, personal Vietnam by approving one or more spot ETFs from the major fund companies where he hopes to get a job after leaving the agency, end quote. I hope this is true. Again, I don't necessarily trust the things that say insiders. I don't know if that necessarily means anything, but I hope it's true. And again, Bitcoin up. Bitcoin is up nice. And so, hey, I hope it's true. Gary G. He used to teach crypto. It's got to be kind of hard for Gary. Okay, it's got to be kind of hard for Gary, and I'll explain why. Is because Gary is kind of like a crypto fanboy. Like he taught blockchain technology in college, at university, and so he was like a fan of Bitcoin and blockchain and crypto. So to have that whole community basically hate him, it's got to be kind of hard for him, Past performance does not equal future performance. Oh, that's for certain. That's certainly true. But I guess I'll put it this way. I guess I'll put it this way, right? It's fine. My dashboard was back at the login screen. I was able to get on with no problems, but it had logged me out. Yeah, I'll have to come back on it and see if it works. It might just be a glitch, um, but yeah, I guess the point I'm trying to make is like betting against these behemoth companies is a risky thing. You know, it's fine to bet against some of these companies, but like if that's all you do and you're not taking long positions on the other side, you're missing the biggest edge in the market, like the biggest edge the market ever gives you. And so I just don't understand that logic. And I think people do it because like they want to be contrarian and they want to be different, and they idolize people like Michael Burry, and that's fine. But again, you're just missing out on so much money long term trying to look cool that like it just seems silly in my opinion. But maybe I'm wrong, and you know, maybe there's some opportunity on the short side. I'm not sure what Disney did. I'm in Disney right now, but we've already taken most of it off on this bounce. So we got ourselves pretty nicely positioned in Disney when it dipped. We got an average price on Disney not too long ago of like $80.98 or something like that. It was close to that. So under 81s is where we positioned ourselves on Disney, and Disney bounced all the way up to over 86 this morning. And so we're still very green on our Disney trade. If we look at it here, we're still in NVIDIA. We can't forget about that one either. But we're still in Disney. And again, you can see even our new average after exiting is 81.16, right? So even our new average is all the way back at 81s, and we're sitting pretty nice here on Disney. We'll see if it keeps bouncing up. We've already scaled out. We have over 100 shares, and so we only have 20 shares now on Disney. But I'm not sure if it hit a bottom or not. Nobody knows. I'm just in it right now. So yeah, I don't know whether it hit a bottom or not. Yeah, but maybe that's true, KC. And again, it's all good, man. Like it's all good. Um, the point I'm trying to make here is that you're gonna have like you can think Apple's a shrinking company, and again, that's fine. I think time will prove you wrong. But again, it's all love here. It doesn't matter too much either way. But what I will say is like I just think there's so much larger edge to be found. There's so much easier like trades to be found than betting against the largest companies in the world, you know, in markets in which generally the more you zoom out, the more those companies are going to move up. And so it's fine to do it. Like I said, maybe y'all have an edge that works, but it just seems really risky and unnecessary to take positions like that. Again, that's fine. Again, bet against Apple. You know, it's all good. I just think it's a risky thing. You know, Nvidia is different. Maybe Nvidia might be argued a little bit better for a short, but yeah. I was on my way to Miami Beach to live the good life, and I lost. Sorry to hear that. Elon says it's a tough time ahead past quarter two. Yeah, I mean, again, we'll see what happens in markets. It's interesting to watch. Again, with the Fed rate hike decision this week, it's going to be really interesting to see what happens. Again, Wednesday, the Fed is going to almost certainly skip. What's going to matter more than their skip announcement, again, they're almost certainly going to announce that they're going to skip rate hikes, that they're not going to raise rates, that they're going to skip. What's more important than that, though, is what Big Papa Jerome Powell says during the overall press conference, right? Like that's going to matter a lot, like what he actually says during the press conference. You know, they're gonna have a Q&A, and they're gonna ask him about a lot of dynamics of markets, of what he thinks the market is currently at. And so that's going to be really important, like what he says there, what his expectations are for the rest of this year and next year in terms of rate hikes, in terms of inflation, in terms of all these different things. That's going to mean a lot. And that's what the market is going to be holding on to a lot more than his decision to almost certainly skip, which is what it's almost certainly going to be. Maybe I'm wrong. Again, Europe, the ECB did surprise raise rates. I don't think the US is necessarily going to do that, but the ECB did. So that'll be fun to watch too. We'll see what happens. Yeah, I did exactly what John said. Bet against these big names and lost my biggest edge in the market uptrend. 100%. I mean, again, like I think people get it in their heads that like there's some type of edge in short, right? Like I guess the point is like stocks can be overextended on the upside, but the beautiful part about going long, right? When you think about the edge that there is, right? The beautiful part about going long is that even if you're wrong about a blue chip entry, right? So say you buy Amazon, right? Say you buy Amazon and you buy it at let's look at a chart. So like here's a long-term chart of Amazon, right? Again, I'm going to put it up on the left side. So say you buy Amazon, and here is a yearly chart on Amazon, right? And say you get in at, say you buy it right here at 140, you know? So say you buy it right here on 140. Say you buy Amazon right here. And then Amazon dips down like this and drops immediately down to 130s, 120s, 110s, like drops all the way down here. It can drop all the way down here. The big edge, and it makes perfect sense if you think about it. The big edge is that it's incredibly probable that Amazon is eventually in the future going to break back over your entry, right? It's incredibly probable that Amazon is going to break back over that edge. And that's a profound edge to know that you can sit in something and bag hold it and that it'll probably eventually come back over your entry price is a big edge, especially if you're investing long term, because it ultimately allows you to say, okay, well, I don't need to sell. I can just wait. And again, that's a big edge. And sure, there's a chance that it doesn't, right? There's a chance that it doesn't eventually break back over that level. There's a chance that it just keeps on dipping, and that's fine. But again, the longer you wait, the more probable it's going to move back up to break those levels. Because Amazon, when you look at the business overall, huge company, obviously going to be okay long term. It takes up so much space in our everyday lives in terms of business that like it's going to be fine. You know, and again, if you look at shorting those stocks, right, that type of edge isn't there. In fact, if you get in short and the stock breaks over your entry, it's much less probable that that stock's ever going to come back to your entry. You know, it's much less probable. And so I think when you consider the edge in those two scenarios, the obvious edge is on the long side. But again, you know, maybe there's some edge short term. I think if you're going to short these big blue chip companies, it needs to be very short term. Like you can short, you need to be very stubborn with your exits, get out whenever you can, you know, and just don't be super stubborn with your entries, and just understand that it's probable that it's never going to hit your entry price again. Nothing looks to be wrong with Coca-Cola. I mean, it's mostly sideways on the year. We bought a little bit last week, but we're down like $40 in the trade. Yeah, but I guess but interest rates aren't an argument against it, Casey. The reason they're not an argument against it is because inflation is going to rise over time. And so sitting on cash would result in the same thing. Like you're going to lose money over time if you sit on cash. If you don't invest in these things, you're going to lose money sitting on cash anyway, because over time your cash is going to be worth less and less. That's just the nature of the market. You know, so you could use that argument to say against anything. I just don't think that's necessarily relevant. I think it's more important to look at, again, you can sit in things over time, and there's going to be some good investments versus bad investments. But, you know, I think if you want like stability in markets, a lot of it is going to be in long-term investing. And again, I day trade every day. I love day trading. I really do. I day trade very often. Obviously, I day trade pretty regularly throughout the day and on the stream. But yeah, I just think, you know, again, that's my own style. Maybe I'm wrong. And again, it's possible. Maybe I'm just biased in my favor. Do you think now is a good time to invest in NVIDIA, other AI companies? I don't know about investing, sure, right? Investing is a different story. I think if you invest in NVIDIA, you'll probably be okay. The only risk, and again, probably is the key word there. I'm not saying you certainly will. Again, the risk here, if you look at it objectively, the risk is that AI stocks like NVIDIA, AMD, you know, so forth, are overinflated right now, and that they're eventually going to come back down to more reasonable levels. And if there's a lot of sentiment right now about how AI is going to correct, I think over the long run, AI is obviously going to be huge, and AI is obviously going to be very highly used. But I think with AI being up so much, like it has been over the last year, I think it's up so much that it's high risk, high reward. You know, like, yeah, you could buy it here. There's also, a risk that for a few years you might be red in it if it corrects really heavily. I think eventually it'll come back and you'll be green if you sit on it long enough, kind of like I just mentioned before this. But there is a risk that you're going to be red for a few years in NVIDIA if you buy it here. But it's also high reward. So if it doesn't and that doesn't happen, there's also a great chance that it's just going to rip up in everybody's faces and keep moving up and keep breaking highs and so forth and so on. And so both of those are possible. You just got to weigh the risks there. Margin was real popular before the 1929 crash. Yeah, but I mean, margin's still hella popular right now. Margin's always been profitable, brother. People have always loved margin. Just like people always love loans. They always love loans. They always love margin. It's pretty universally loved since trading was a thing, way back then. What about investing in NASDAQ ETFs? Oh, that's a much more risk-averse way, for sure. NASDAQ ETFs, not just NASDAQ. I mean, NASDAQ, S&P, Dow. You could probably, again, I've told people many times, if I had to invest, like, I've had family members that know I run this channel that come to me and ask me for advice. I've had family members that have come to me and been like, yo, they're like, here, what if I gave you $4,000? Could you try to double it? And then in trading and make 8K, and then we could pay for this trip or whatever it was. And I always tell them the same thing, which is no, absolutely not. I am not doing any of that stuff. I don't want their money. I don't want to trade their money. Trading is incredibly risky. The more pressure that I have on me to make money is the more likelihood that I'm going to lose money, and it's just not something I want to do. But the point, what I usually tell them, to go back to my original point, what I usually tell them is, if I had 50K, I would buy the S&P, maybe the NASDAQ, maybe the Dow. I would buy a broad market ETF. I might buy multiple. I might buy the NASDAQ and the S&P 500. And then I'm going to buy gold, either actual physical gold, which is less likely. I'd probably buy like some type of gold long-term security or ETF. I would buy real estate, and I would sit on that. And I would probably buy the Q. I'd probably buy the Q, gold security of some sort, the S&P 500, and some type of either real estate security or actual house. No, I don't know about an actual house, but probably some type of real estate security. And I would sit, right? I would diversify into those 4 or 5 things. And then I would sit for 20 years. If you buy those things and sit for 20 years, you are going to be able to turn that 50K into a lot of money over time, right? You're going to be able to, and it's diversified well enough so no matter what happens, like, you're going to be okay. Sure, you might get crashes, you might get crazy drops, but that's what I would do personally. Hey, what's up, Bulldog? What's up, brother? Any interest in the Instacart IPO? When's it go live? Voo. Let's see. Oh, this is the Vanguard S&P. Yeah, I've heard about this one. It underperforms the SPY by a little bit, though. And so I don't really like it that way. But if I had to pick, I'd pick the S&P. Or I'd pick the, I don't know. I just wouldn't pick this one. All right, I think Top Step got their stuff back. Let's see. Tomorrow for Instacart? Okay, got it. Okay, yeah, so my dashboard's back up and running, which is nice. Nice, man. Yeah, we're slowly building profit here in our funded account, which is nice. Okay, yeah, we'll check that out for sure, Bulldog. Appreciate the heads up there, brother. Bitcoin, yeah, Bitcoin's pushing up. But I guess like the point I'm trying to make here with all of this stuff, and I might sound like a broken record, and if I do, my my apologies there. I'm not trying to. The overall point I'm trying to make here with all of this though is that it's fine to day trade, and I day trade, and I love day trading. And if you're good at day trading, that can be a skill you have for the rest of your life. Like once you learn how to do it, like that can be a really good skill, right? The main problem though, is that you have to diversify in everything. Like diversification is a huge tool that you should not skip out on. I get it. People like are huge believers in different things. I get it that people get sold on investments and they put all their money in one thing, right? But if you want to be safe, diversify in everything you do, right? You can diversify in day trading. You can diversify in, investing. You can diversify in what you trade, when you trade it, how you trade it, what type of securities you trade, whether you trade crypto, you can diversify into crypto, all that different stuff. You just got to diversify. Most people lose everything because they put everything in one thing. They put all their money in one specific thing, one specific security, one specific bet. And, everybody's wrong sometimes. Egos can be big and make you miss out on some of the truths that float around. So only one wife. Carol's definitely one of the top 3 wives in the world right now. Definitely one of my top 3 wives ever. Russell Brand getting some heat. Why, too dramatic. Sorry, I'm reading on Twitter right now. Yeah, so Formula One in Vegas. Again, man, a lot of people posting that Gary Gensler, SEC chair or SEC leader, has told friends and advisors that he would like to gracefully extricate himself from his personal Vietnam by approving one or more spot Bitcoin ETFs. Gary G, do it, bro. Like, please do it. Approve them. Honestly, crypto Bitcoin will fly if it does. Again, who knows if this is hype, though? I mean, it could be hype. It could be nonsense. But Bitcoin, again, over 27,000 now, pushing back up. Let's see if we break 30K this week. All right, so 3 years ago, the average 30-year mortgage rate was 2.98%. The median existing home price was $294K. Currently, the 30-year mortgage rate is 7.23%, and the median home price is $440. Crazy. All right, guys, I'm catching back. Let's see what else we got. Hey, thank you, Beach Bum. Have a good day, brother. Yeah, man, look at all those bag holders. I've noticed the only sector diversification doesn't work is professional athletics. What do you mean by that? Yeah, 7.5% is probably good. You know, Crypto Carol. I trade one ticker only, become very familiar with it. Yeah, but you're talking about trading. Trading is different than investing. You know, like you can learn to day trade. I usually day trade the S&P, the SPY, or the NASDAQ, right? Those are usually what I trade every day. I've become very familiar with day trading those, but that's a different thing than investing, right? Investing, you don't want to get used to one symbol. You want to diversify into major sectors and stocks, right? That's generally what you want, you know? So again, investing and trading are much different. And again, if you want to day trade, funded account program is probably where you want to be, right? So like if you want to day trade, a funded account program is generally the most useful because what it allows you to do, they give you a demo and they test your skill, right? So they give you a demo on Top Step, they give you a 50K demo. If you can hit 3K in profit on that 50K demo without losing over 2K, so a 2 to 3 ratio, very reasonable expectation and ratio to show skill, 2 to 3 ratio, and you can day trade basically the E-mini, which is the S&P 500 or the SPY. You can day trade the NASDAQ, which is the QQQ, or whatever, the NASDAQ 100. You can day trade gold, currencies to a certain extent. There's just a lot of ways you can trade, and the NASDAQ and the SPY moves a lot like Apple. It moves a lot like Amazon. It moves a lot like these large caps that you can't day trade unless you got 25K. And so that's where it's useful. You can day trade those things with no PDT rule. And they're the most legit funded program in the world. They give you that profit target on a demo account. And if you can hit it, they fund you between 50 to 150K with a 90% split. And you get to keep your first 10K in profit. They're the most legit one in the world. They pay out millions every year. They fund thousands of traders a year, and they've been around for over a decade. But they are a sponsor of mine. I'm incredibly biased in their favor because they pay me money, but I still think it's great. I think just taking the challenge helps build your skill. Most day traders lose, and so it's a lot cheaper to go the Top Step route. If you lose, you're only down $49. If you're good enough to pass it, you're still going to get a lot of the rewards you would get for putting the money up yourself. You get 90% split, 10K profit is, you get to keep. And so there's just a lot of arguments for it. People can hate on them, but I think if you're a new trader, that's the way you learn how to day trade. You still have some pressure. It's not the full extent of like crazy risk, but it makes sense. If you want to check it out, here's the link. I don't think all strategies work, Wayne. I think it depends. Oh, yeah, maybe. I don't know. I don't think all strategies work. I think high of the day breaks can work, right? But I think like a lot of new traders love high of the day breakouts. They're like, oh, a lot of people teach high of the day breakouts. But bro, high of the day breakouts, they just don't freaking work, bro. Like they might work one time and that misleads traders and they keep on like beating the dead horse. Just keep on doing it. Keep on trading these high of the day breakouts. They keep dumping on you. They keep, again, the problem with high of the day breakouts is that you're basically buying the very top of the range. Right. And so that's generally where experienced traders take profit, is at the top of the range. And so half the time you're going to buy it there and you're just going to get dumped on because traders are unloading at that level. It's the top of the range. But new traders freaking love it. A lot of times they just get really stubborn and they only trade high of the day breakouts. And then they wonder why they lose so much. Once I started buying dips, right? Once I started buying pullbacks instead of high breaks, I started making so much more money. Like it was much easier to make money once I started buying pullbacks instead of looking to take crazy breakout predictions and all this stuff. Once I just started buying pullbacks, it worked. Oh, well, yeah, for sure. Again, do me a favor, hit that like button, guys. Hit the like button, hit the notification bell. Let's bump those like buttons up to at least 100 likes if we can. What about Baba? I don't trust that as a company, Raphael. I just don't trust it. It's too difficult to predict what they're doing over there, and so I just don't like it. And it's had big loss of value over the last few years. You know, this thing was over 315s back in 2020. You know, but again, the CEO went against, you know, they went against the government there, and you know, again, I'm not messing with it. All right, guys, I'm going to go run to the restroom real quick. Again, I see over 330 people here. Hit the like button. We got 78 likes. We just need 22 likes to break 100. So just try one time. It might feel good. Do it now. I would never, ever pressure you to hit the like button, but if you don't, I'll hate you forever, and you might get banned for life in here. Hit the like button, guys. I'm just joking. Kind of. Semi-joking. Hit the like button. Do it now. I'll be right back. Restroom break. While I'm gone, we're going to ask a simple question. Does NVIDIA close green today? Bathroom break question. Does NVIDIA close green today? Let me know. I'll be back. All right, we're back. Let's see what people said about our bathroom break question. Does NVIDIA close green today? Big no, no, no. No, no way, no way. A lot of people say no. No. No way. No. NVIDIA might be due to a massive profit taking. No. The rate hike decision's at 2 p.m. on Wednesday, Eric. So 2 p.m. Wednesday. But yeah, again, I kind of agree. I don't know if NVIDIA closes green today. It's already down so much. I mean, we're in it. We bought a little dip, but we'll see if it works. Again, look at our poll numbers. 55% of people says the market bounces this week. 45% say no, market does not bounce this week. All right, let me transfer. All right, so we're still at NVIDIA, though. NVIDIA started to bounce back a little bit. Here's Amazon. We're kind of glancing at this one. Again, you can see the Tesla stock. Tesla had some news that was out. Tesla bouncing back. Tesla kind of staying a little resilient after a lot of stuff dropped on Friday, mostly in microchip and tech sector, though. Like if you look at Amazon, it dropped Friday. NVIDIA is kind of the biggest culprit. It dropped pretty heavily Friday as well. AMD and other tech stocks in that sector dipping down some. Apple, not the biggest red day for Apple, though. So Apple didn't have the worst red day Friday either. So again, this was mostly microchip tech related with Amazon as well. But Tesla still holding its gains. Tesla actually had a pretty decent week last week. If you look at it on a 10-day chart, you can see how much it pushed up starting on Monday here. Monday, it was at 250s. It went all the way up to 270s right now, sitting currently at 270, 250 or so. I just bought NVIDIA Bash just now, like right before I went to the bathroom. So it's at 431. So my average price is right around here where I bought the dip. Again, it's 10 shares, so it's very small. Hey, what's up, Fremont Grandma? What's up, man? So yeah, rate hike decisions at 2 p.m. Wednesday. The actual press conference is going to be at 2:30. What are you trading today? I'll probably trade the S&P, the NASDAQ. Maybe NVIDIA if it looks good, and a couple little things, but small trades so far. All right, so it's 8:15 market time. We still got an hour and 15 minutes or so into the bell. NVIDIA still down at 430s. Like we'll have a morning dip to fill it, then we'll rip until FOMC, then we'll see it from there. If we dump from there, September, we keep running. Maybe. All right, so NVIDIA right at the lows. Let's see if we hold at that 430 level. 430 seems to be a support level, but again, with so much weakness in NVIDIA over the last few days, it doesn't necessarily mean much. Anything could happen here. What could make this market bounce today? I mean, generally, like, dude. All right, so let me think of the easiest way to explain this. So a lot of the time, you don't need some big major catalyst to cause a bounce in markets, just like you don't need some big major catalyst to cause a dip. A lot of the time, stuff just moves on extension. And so when you have a big pullback day like yesterday, or like Friday, I mean, it's very probable actually that we're going to get the opposite the next day, right? So you get a big pullback day, the next day it's you know, a lot of the time, not always, of course, anything can happen, but the next day, a lot of the time you get the opposite of that. So you get a big pullback one day, a small bounce the next day, another small bounce the next day, a big pullback the next day, a big bounce. Like that's the nature of the market. It doesn't always have to be catalyst driven, and really it's not. Like most of the time, just based off of extension, you can get specific moves like that. Do you expect market high or dip today? I'm not really sure what the market's going to get. I'm going to assume we're going to bounce small today, but I think the week leading up to the rate hike decision on Wednesday might be choppy and neutral. So I think we'll have a larger range, but I think we'll stay sideways overall. Like when you zoom out fully, I think we'll have a larger range, but ultimately stay sideways. But maybe I'm wrong. I'm not sure. All right, guys. So where did I get these? All right, so we got a little bounce in NVIDIA. Again, Tesla back at 271. Check my statements here. Statements. There we go. All right, so we did get a bounce in NVIDIA. We're pretty much flat on the trade. We're down a little bit, but pretty much flat. All right, so we're Tesla bouncing up a little bit. We'll see if Tesla holds. Anything else that you guys want to take a look at, like in terms of large cap stocks? A lot of people are going to watch the ARM IPO as well, which is a microchip IPO. I think it's having some weakness from just overall microchips. You looking at NVIDIA on the right. I think a lot of this is looking weak from that. Check back on my Discord. Hey, what's up, Volt guys? New rule: no more speaking to the bathroom to trade during class. Some pain is due. Inevitable, maybe. I mean, again, we'll see. You know, I think you have to look at the broader dynamic of markets, which is that, okay, a lot of people in the Fed expected us to have a recession this year, right? At the beginning of this year, a lot of people thought we were going to hit a recession, and that influenced not only what people's plan was for this year and next year, but also what the plan was for rate hike decisions, the reactions to economic data. You know, we did have some interesting reactions to economic data, all that good stuff. And so, again, I think at this point in time, though, a recession is unlikely this year, especially maybe next year, but I don't think that's super probable as well. You know, again, at the beginning of this year, everybody told me I was dumb if I didn't think we were going to hit a recession this year and all this different stuff, right? But I think when you zoom out and you look at what's happened, most people are not expecting a recession this year anymore. Most people are not expecting, you know, that type of stuff. And in fact, most people, including the Fed, are expecting, you know, a better recovery than originally, you know, was anticipated at the beginning of this year. And so I think we have to look at it under that lens to figure out what we think the market's going to do moving forward. Now, inflation is obviously still elevated. It's at a much better place than it was obviously at the beginning of this year, obviously at the beginning of last year too. So inflation is in a much better place. But the question is how close but it's still elevated, number one. So inflation is still very high. Generally, when inflation's high, the Fed is more likely to take a hawkish approach this year and next year, right? And I think we'll probably have one more rate hike. I think what we'll almost certainly do this year, and again, maybe I'm wrong, is I think we're going to skip or pause the next rate hike decision on Wednesday. And then with that, we're going to skip or pause the rate hike decision Wednesday. And then in November, at the next FOMC meeting in November, that's where I think we're going to raise rates 25 basis points. I think that's probably what's going to happen. It doesn't mean it's what's going to happen, but it's probably what's going to happen. And so, again, let me know what you guys think. Do we hit a recession this year? I don't think we do. I don't think we do. I think a lot of people thought we would. Again, I just don't think we're going to now. Recession is coming, can't be avoided. When do you think we'll hit it? Again, maybe y'all are right. I don't know. It's a fake recovery. Maybe. Yeah, what's up, Volt, guys? Yeah, I don't know anything about Volt. So, I mean, good luck. Like I said, I hope it goes up for you guys. Look at February. And again, we'll see if any of these stocks bounce. There's ARM. We are in ARM. There's the SPY. SPY is actually fighting its way back, trying to go green on the day. It had a pretty negative last 20 or 30 minutes, but SPY's trying to go green on the day. Q is down a lot too. We'll see what NVIDIA does. NVIDIA is going to be the real test. All right, so NVIDIA is still chopping back up. It's at 431. Yeah, and I can kind of see crypto has slowed down a lot since last year too. NVIDIA dipping back down. Let's watch Amazon. A lot of people have talked about Amazon's weakness too. Amazon right at 140. Meta. We haven't really looked at Meta a lot. It's at 299. All right, guys, let me find this. 263. There it is. All right, guys, so sorry, I'm kind of helping. I'm doing my taxes a little bit here too. I'm not getting into that, Garab. I don't really care about anything politics, man. So again, I just don't really care about anything politics, bro. Just not really my style, bro. I'm just not really into any of that stuff. Don't really care about any of that stuff. Definitely not going to comment on who I like or anything like that. I just don't really care about any of that crap. And one of the quotes I love saying is, I think the more you get wrapped up in political stuff, the more gullible you ultimately are. You know, it's fine to watch it. I'm not saying you shouldn't watch it. What I'm saying is, like, if you root for one side like it's your football team, you know, I'm not even gonna go any further than that. Just, yeah, I'll leave it at that. Anyways, Apple's starting to move up a little bit. We're in Apple. We've been Apple for a while. What happens to gaps in the S&P? What do you mean? Again, here's the S&P, basically the SPY right now. It's at 443s, 443s. Yeah, market's down a lot for sure over the last couple of days. Yeah, I'm pretty middle ground in everything, so you know. What is that one, Cal? A lot of these stocks I've never heard of. Oh, Hershey's. Hershey's is too obscure. Not as a company. Obviously, Hershey's is big, but like it's too difficult to predict behavior patterns in Hershey's, I think. Right? So like I don't know the business super well. It's too difficult to predict like what their future looks like. You know what I mean? And maybe I'm wrong, but I think it's just too difficult to predict that. All right, guys. So that one. I don't know why one of my monitors is like weird. The other ones are okay. All right. It's interesting where my business makes more money. Like I'm doing my taxes for last year. I got to pay them on October. But like I could see a lot of my money was traded. I know I was sponsored by BitGet at the time, and so I was making more money from crypto. At the time, but the crypto market, man, do y'all think the attention's less in crypto than now? Than last year, than beginning of 2022? Do y'all think? Do y'all think like just crypto has overall less hype right now? It probably does. These payments, I don't know where they're coming from either. This is from ebooks. Coinbase. All right, NVIDIA cracked lows for a split second, got under 430s, and then bounced right back. Hey, baby, how you doing? You're gonna mute it. All right, hold on. All right, guys, I'm back. Sorry, Carol wanted to talk to me about something. Yeah, I think it did move to AI a little bit. What's up, Manny? Hey, what's up, brother? Full retracement on the S&P is below the average daily range. The upside is more potential than downside. Maybe. Middle ground. Yeah, that's what we try to stay at. Yeah, I think most stuff's moved to AI too, but I think AI can be crypto as well. Google green. Yeah, Google actually been pretty resilient despite a lot of other stuff too, and we're in Google, I think, still. Here's Google right here. We're at 138. So Google again, let's see where we're at. We are up $70 or so on our little 10 shares, but we've been in Google all year too, and we're just trying to be patient with it, you know. All right, we're gonna keep an eye on NVIDIA as well, though, team. Yeah, I think the thing that'll really skyrocket, like Cam, you know, we have our crypto partner Cam, you know, Cam obviously knows much more about crypto than me. Cam's expectation for crypto is like once the SEC starts to approve some of these spot ETFs, he thinks the market's gonna fly, right? So once the SEC starts to approve some of these spot ETFs, he thinks the market's gonna fly up. Goldman lowered forecast on Tesla. Yeah. Yeah, so analysts expects Rivian 23 production guidance to go higher in October. Again, the deal with Tesla right now is them and Saudi Arabia are potentially doing a deal. So I think we'll have to wait for in crypto, that's what we're essentially waiting on, you know, is that, you know. All right, so look at the SPY back over the volume weighted average price. We're over 443s. The previous closing price for the SPY is at 443.20. 443.20. And NVIDIA mostly choppy. Again, remind me I'm in NVIDIA. I can't forget that I'm in it right now. Let's see Walmart. Walmart at 160s. Again, Amazon week, Meta week. Here's the NQX, the NASDAQ 100, sitting at closed at 3040. Again, here's the Q. A little bit more tech-based ETF. It's bouncing back up, but again, you can kind of see tech is a little bit more red. So to understand the differences between like the NASDAQ and the S&P, the Q is basically the NASDAQ, right? But like you can see the differences. The SPY is almost flat on the day, right? So the SPY is slightly red, but it's pretty close to break even, which is this light blue line right here. When you take a look at the NASDAQ, for instance, though, the NASDAQ more tech-based, and tech is really what's red. So you can see NASDAQ a lot more red than the S&P. The FOMC is Wednesday. How do I get the previous closing price? It's a script for Thinkorswim. So it's a script for TOS. So it's a TOS script. Practice account in what? Yeah, so you might be behind on the stream, bro. Yeah, I'm kind of passively doing my taxes here. Some of my taxes are going to be much easier this year, or for this year, which is next year, but once you were trading it was your practice account. Yeah, but this is TOS, right? TOS, you have to log into a completely different portal from a practice account, right? It would also be like bright yellow. You would see bright yellow on my screen. This is definitely not my TOS practice account. Because it's just, I'm not going to accidentally use my practice account on TOS. Hey, good luck to you all as well. Yeah, I think ETH and Bitcoin have been running up, right? Yeah, so ETH and Bitcoin been running up. I'm guessing on the news that the Gary Gensler news, like there's some slight Gary G news about how he wants to approve the some of the spot ETF because to get himself to stop the criticism. Again, it could be nonsense and a rumor, but it could be real as well. We don't know. Again, let me know what you guys think there. So there's rumors on Twitter going about this right now. So again, I'll see if I can find it. But there's rumors on Twitter about Gary G right now. If you search Gary G, you should find the news. If you search Gary Gensler, you should find the news. Basically, let me see if I can find it. Again, it's not confirmed, so it's not confirmed. All right, so what I'm seeing, again, I can't find it anywhere, but I just read it a second ago. But there's a rumor with insiders that said basically Gary G. Okay, yeah, so this is by Mike Alfred. And again, they're claiming it's an SEC insider reported that Gary G is willing to endorse one or more spot ETFs from a large fund, and they say this is what he's telling friends and family. Again, I'm not 100% sure if this is real, but basically what they're saying is that Gary G has told friends and advisors that he would like to gracefully extricate himself from his quote personal Vietnam by approving one or more Bitcoin ETFs from the major fund companies where he hopes to get a job after leaving the agency. Again, that's an SEC insider saying that. We don't know if it's real or not. We don't know if it's legit or not. So yeah, we really don't know. Let me know in the chat. Do you guys think this is real? I really don't freaking know, man. It's hard to tell. Really hard to tell if this is real or not. Again, they could just be fluffing it up. And Bitcoin, again, if you look at Bitcoin right now, let me check NVIDIA real quick. Yeah, NVIDIA's down a little bit. If you look at Bitcoin right now, Bitcoin has been surging up. It's at 27.5K because I think a lot of people understand if a Bitcoin ETF is approved, that's huge. That's huge. Again, I'm not saying it will be, but if it is approved, it's going to set the standard for approval high up there. So it's going to set the standard of approval high up there. Right, and Bitcoin reacting to it like it's true though. So let me check the chat. That doesn't sound like him at all. Yeah, I think so as well. What advice do you have for a 15-year-old? Ask your parents. Yeah, I'm not going to give you any advice, bro. You know, again, I have no idea what you should do. Ask your parents. Not going to get in there, brother. That's you and all you. No idea what you should do. My advice to anybody is, you know, ask your parents, kid. Good luck. Hope you make some money, bro. All right, so again, you can see the SPY. Let's watch the Q. SPY breaking over VWAP here. Let's see if the Q fights its way back. Again, we're in NVIDIA right now. I don't mind letting it sit. It's just 10 shares. And so there's the SPY breaking back over the VWAP. But look how choppy the market has been. And again, it could be just a really choppy week because we just don't have much going on until Friday, right? So we just don't have much going on until Friday. Again, we'll see if it holds, but we just don't have much going on until Friday. There's something going on Wednesday. So the Wednesday is the rate hike decision. That's actually why I think it's going to be slow leading up to this. So again, Wednesday is when we have the FOMC rate hike decision. And so it might be kind of choppy leading into that because, again, that's the rate hike decision. It could just be boring heading into that. Get the SPY make another rip, testing that previous high up there. How bad will the markets react if Jay Powell actually raises rates? Not good, bro. Again, if he raises rates as a shock, it's not going to be good for markets. It's bad, you know. So yeah, it's not going to be good. Yeah, definitely not good if he raises rates. But again, I think they're less likely to do it. I think with like a lot of people see the ECB raise rates last week, and they're assuming that the U.S. might have a similar policy. I don't think so. Again, I think Jerome Powell and the Fed, they're less likely to shock everybody. They don't want to shock people. They're scared to shock people. You know what I mean? And so I think it's important to just be smart and be careful with all this stuff, you know? All right, so again, we're still in NVIDIA. Yeah, again, I'm not going to give advice to a 15-year-old about stock trading. It's just that's just too liability ridden for me personally. It's just not really my style, not really what I want to do. Yeah. Again, NVIDIA is still back over 430, so it did bounce back a little bit. But didn't the Euro markets rally when ECB said they were done raising rates? Yeah, but they raised rates as a surprise. And so overall, we did have a red week last week, I think. I have to go back and check. But yeah, overall, I do think last week was red. Some people don't think the market will bounce, but doesn't the last CPI higher number go on detriment of the economy, causing the inflation to get stubborn? Yeah, I mean, nobody knows how the market's going to react. Even with CPI, right? Like CPI, a lot of the time there can be delayed reactions, and that's what a lot of people think it's just binary in terms of reactions, where we'll have one specific reaction and we don't know what we're going to get after that. That's not really how it is. Like it changes so much, and what people want change so much. Again, sometimes the market can fear a recession, sometimes they can fear an inflation market. It genuinely varies. And so it's not like you can sit around and wait for high CPI and then just short the market, or wait for low CPI and buy the market. I wish the market was that easy. Again, we'd all be rich, but it's just not. And so it's more to just kind of look at it and react to what happens and try to get a trend or something like that in those markets. That's for me, that works best, but everybody's different. So rate hike and we go up, rate pause, we go down. No, not really, Chris. It's generally like, so a rate hike is going to be seen as bad, especially if it's a shock, but nobody knows how the market's going to react to it. Sometimes the market does react positively to more rate hikes, because if the market's really inflation fearing and the market really wants inflation to dip, they're going to want more rate hikes, because that means, more long-term damage to inflation. But again, it's not that easy in terms of reactions. The market can be very nuanced and difficult to predict. And so I would just sit around and wait to see what kind of the reaction we get, and then play off of that instead of trying to predict how the market's going to respond. I think the edge, if you're trying to predict what the market's going to do, is very low. Well, yeah, if the Fed says they're finished raising rates this year, the market will probably rally for sure, 100%. I mean, that's pretty likely. Again, that's a very, what they call, dovish thing. If the Fed chooses not to raise rates anymore this year, very dovish. That means the Fed thinks that the economy is going to do okay, or that inflation is under control. Basically, is what that means. If they're done raising rates this year. Again, I don't know if they will be. I think they'll probably raise rate one more time. I think they're going to skip Wednesday this year, and then again, I think they're going to probably decide to raise rates in November, is my guess, but I might be wrong, but that's my guess. And again, we're going to stream the entire thing live like we always do, so we're going to stream all of it live, as we always say. I doubt they'll ever admit that they're not going to raise rates. Yeah, maybe. I don't know. It's so hard to tell what the Fed's going to do. Their job is to keep an efficient market, and again, it's difficult to tell what they're going to do. Bitcoin's still running right now. Again, the SPY side, it's really hard to make money in this, right? Because if you look at this, look how choppy the market is. Up, down, up, down, up, down. The market's basically sideways for the last, for the last 40 minutes. This is the market right here. So this is just incredibly difficult to make money. I can literally draw a rectangle around it and see what the market does. But there's just no big edge right now, I think. If y'all see one, let me know. I just don't see one right now. All right, SPY right at that volume weighted average price. NVIDIA is still down. Do y'all think I should cut the NVIDIA trade? I mean, we're still in it, but I don't know what we want to do. NVIDIA still at 430s. All right, guys. Sorry, I'm checking on some other stuff too, but Mara is going to run if Bitcoin stays strong. Yeah, I think so. I mean, if Bitcoin continues to run up, a mining company like Mara is probably going to be strong too. Riot as well. If you look at Mara and Riot, but again, they're already up some. I always question, like, look, I know mining has potential, but why not just buy Bitcoin itself if you're going to buy a mining company, right? Like, if Bitcoin goes up, the miners are going to make money. Right, but like, why go through all the trouble of having the middleman stock? I know like diversification is good, but it just makes more sense to just buy Bitcoin. If you're that big of a believer in crypto, I mean, I guess diversifying has some value, but yeah, I mean, we're in NVIDIA. I'll watch it on my other end. Apple breaking up though. Apple testing the highs of pre-market, so that's nice to see. Arm keeps running. Let's see if we can find something else here. SPY back under VWAP here, back underneath the volume weighted average price. Also, do me a favor, hit that like button if you haven't already. We appreciate it. Yeah, so look at Apple, which is a heavily weighted stock, up to 176. Yeah, so Apple has really been slumping since the Wanderlust event. There we go. All right, so again, FOMC week, we might get choppiness. So just be smart and be careful heading into this week. Let me make sure this doesn't pop up here. Hold on one second, guys. Let me put my beautiful face up for a second. Sorry. My face is a little red, man. I've been in jiu-jitsu lately, so I'm getting kind of beat up a little bit. You can kind of see the scratches on my face. I got this. Somebody got me in a collar choke on my neck. So, yeah. Anyways, let me see. Sorry, I want to pull this up. I'm doing my taxes, and so I don't want it to pop open my bank statements live on stream. That would not be good. There we go. All right, we're back. Whew, all right. All right, SPY back up. Mirror sucks. NVIDIA might bounce up. Yeah, I'm still in it. Y'all yell at me if it starts to break down too much. Taxes, you are late, my man. No, I'm not. I got the October extension. I generally get the October extension. Most self-employed people do. The Market Oracle is a premium service, Sly. It's by Chart Prime, which is a trading view indicator service you can use in stocks, crypto, forex, futures. And somebody's asking me about it. They say, hey, how do you get the Market Oracle and trading view? I'll show you this right now. So again, company called Chart Prime, really nice. They are sponsors, so of course I'm biased for sure. But again, you can use them on the E-mini, basically the SPY, which is what you see me watching. You can use them on the NASDAQ. You can use them on currencies like stocks, crypto, futures, whatever you want to use, options. If I put up indicators here and I put up the Market Oracle Pro, again, here's a 5-minute Market Oracle Pro chart on the SPY. I can zoom out, and again, you can see it adds the Market Oracle Pro. And again, pretty powerful. Like if you look at this, right, if you look at how much this works versus doesn't work, you can look at all the examples this morning. Again, and we just got a signal way back here and we got a nice little bounce. The only one that I see didn't work on this screen from the Market Oracle Pro was this one, right? This one worked, dips. This one worked, bounce. This one definitely worked, big dip. This one worked recently, bounce. And so that's 4 out of 5 this morning on the regular Market Oracle. This is the Market Oracle Pro. You can also use the regular Market Oracle, which is reversal signals, right? So there's the Market Oracle Pro. I can also put up the regular Market Oracle, which is, again, reversal signals. And I'll put this up on screen. If you want to check it out, you get 20% off. And again, you can check out the regular Market Oracle and see how useful this can be too. Like, look at the last couple bounces here. Reversal up, bounce, reversal up, bounce. Hey, bud. Love you, buddy. Hey, I love you, man. All right. I know, bud. All right, sorry, I was talking to my son. But yeah, look at the regular Market Oracle bounces. And this is just a small piece. Again, I can add chart patterns. I can add smart money concepts. I can add oscillators. I can add market dynamics. I can add their new oscillator here, which is pretty useful. And again, so you can kind of see all this different stuff. Look, you can kind of see the ascending break, and look at the break of this flag right here. Look at the break, boom. And so again, if you learn how to use these things, it can be profound edge, like a profound edge in markets. They're not always going to work. Nothing works 100% of the time, but I think using them to get an edge in the market makes sense. They are a sponsor of mine. It's $40 a month though, so it's pretty cheap. But yeah, if you want to check it out, here is the link. Great way to help support the channel. I'll put the link up in the description if you want to see it. AMD under 100. Yeah, NVIDIA is probably falling down, and I think I see the market weighing down. So yeah, I'm gonna have to cut this one. We lost $30 from it, so it's all good. But just took too long, broke down a little bit too much for NVIDIA. And again, I think this is weighing the rest of the market down. Yeah, taxes are freaking, I hate them. But it's all good. Yeah, I'm not sure, Sly. Not sure, brother. I would reach out to them, man, and check. All right, and we're going to get ready to trade some futures today at the opening bell. We're going to be day trading futures. Again, the really cool part in futures is that, number one, we're already up a little bit on our funded account. Here's our funded account right here. Remember, we rolled over on Friday. Friday was quad witching day, so we rolled over on Friday. Yeah, again, guys, for entrepreneurs, a lot of entrepreneurs get the October extension, which is what I get, right? Like, I pay my taxes for last year in October. I can pay them in March, or I can pay them in October. I usually choose October. It gives me a little bit more time to manage them. Because, again, generally for me, I pay tens of thousands of dollars every year in taxes. It's not fun. And so, yeah. And I usually overpay taxes, to be honest, because, yeah. But I pay tens of thousands usually. And so, yeah. Top Step is the name of the funded account, Philip. You can check out the links in the description if you want more info there. But yeah, we're going to get ready to day trade futures on our funded account. Made a little bit of money last week on it. We're going to slow and steady build it up. Let's see if we get some good stuff today. What else we got? Let me see. Where's that pop out? Let me pull this up. So again, we are slightly green on the day. Get out of this. Get out of this. This one. All right, so again, you can kind of see the NASDAQ and the Q. NVIDIA is still breaking down. It's at 427. It's looking kind of rough, man. Got April. All right, so Nasdaq's starting to bounce up again, but again, we're so choppy, it's kind of boring right now. Are you guys red or green today? Let me know. You can see the SPY starting to push up. You can see the Nasdaq. I can also put like the NQ, Apple, or anything like that. Apple has been pushing up right now. If we put up Apple on the right side, Apple's starting to move up, breaking pre-market high right now. So Apple over the pre-market high, it's at 176. You still you still think pre-market trading is worth the effort? To a certain extent, maybe. It just depends. If there's no hike Wednesday, Bitcoin and gold go up or down. I'm not sure. Nobody knows. It could go up. Again, no rate hike is overwhelmingly expected. So it's not really going to influence the market super heavily. You can see Apple pop up to 176. What will move the market and what will influence the market more heavily than you think is what Jerome Powell says during the FOMC meeting interview. He's going to do a Q&A. He's going to talk to analysts. He's going to put out his sentiment regarding the future of this year in terms of rate hikes and all that stuff and what that specifically means. That's going to move the market more than the rate pause that we're almost certainly going to get. Again, a lot of people, for whatever reason, they bet against the probabilities here. And I'm not saying we never go against probabilities in terms of rate hikes. What I am saying, though, is that the market generally understands that we're almost certainly going to pause or skip on Wednesday. 99% of participants think the market is going to skip. And so with that, it's almost certain that that's what we're going to do. What the other side to that is if for whatever reason we do not skip, if we do end up raising rates, if we do raise rates 25 basis points, which would be what it would be if we didn't skip, it would be a 25 basis point rate hike. If we do that, it's going to be a shock, a jolt to the system. And that could cause a lot of bearish action in markets, but you never really know. Again, the market's getting propped up right now by Apple breaking highs up to over 176. You can see the Nasdaq and the S&P 500 following suit, moving up. NVIDIA is still pretty far down there, testing lows of the day. And then again, Tesla had the news that came out. So Tesla's down on the day, but it's not super red, and really it's still above Friday's lows. GameStop at 18s. Looks pretty slow. All right, guys. All right, so Apple's still consolidating around 176. The Nasdaq's still very flat. Again, I'm not really trading. I'm up a little bit in my funded account right now. We got 13 minutes into the open. I'm just kind of waiting for that to happen, because right now we're pretty stagnant, sideways, boring. Apple's still pushing up. We can also look at Tesla. What else is moving the market today? Amazon was really red Friday, so it could be what it is. You think we'll reject at the top of this range? We're right here. Consolidating towards the top. Microsoft was red. Yeah, Microsoft's not one that moves a lot in pre-market though, so it's pretty stagnant today so far. Oh, is the bathroom break question up? My bad, guys. All right, here's the Tesla news that we had this morning as well. Apple sideways. Whatever happened to the Hawaii energy one? What was it? HE? What was the Hawaii energy one? Hawaii Electric. It was HE. So HE. A lot of red. Is there any value in like a dip buy here, guys, is my question. I don't know if there is. Again, I'm not saying there is. I'm asking you guys at home who might know more about this situation than me. Is there any argument for a dip there? I think there could, but I don't know the state of what's going on over there. I'm just trying to see if might be some value in buying that dip. All right. Love you. Have a good day. So McFortune, Tesla going to 60 because that's for real. Don't doodle in the market. I'm like John Madden over here. Still short on Airbnb. She has lost a lot of room. Yeah, I'm not super confident in Airbnb long term either. I think it could be crazy successful, but I also think it could be a massive failure too. And I think it already has been crazy successful. I just think the problem with it is simple. It's that regulations are changing. You know, it's almost to a certain extent oversaturated, and how much they charge just to let you rent rooms is crazy high. Like, it's crazy high. Like, again, if you've ever tried renting off of Airbnb, it's super expensive. Now, I don't know what the comparison is with other stuff, but for me personally, it's just really high. All right, so Apple pulled it back a little bit. I might buy this dip. We're already in 5 shares, and I think Apple has pulled back enough to maybe, you know, argue for a dip buy. So we're going to take 20 shares, maybe 25. We'll take 30, actually. So we're going to take 30 on this dip. It's showing strength, and then it's pulling back a little bit from it. So hopefully that's good enough for us here. And let me know if you guys think it's a good idea. Let me check back. I know I talked about the Hawaii energy thing. Yeah, ARM is another one that we're watching. We're in ARM right now as well. Although ARM's pulling back with microchips overall. It's at 59s. Feel one more hike this year. I think they're going to do one in November. I ended up not doing Airbnb since my city wants to get really. Yeah, I know a lot of people who bought homes. And this is, I know multiple different family members that have bought homes with the intention of using them for Airbnb. And then basically, regulations changed and they weren't able to use it. So now they're basically sitting on homes. I know multiple people that did that, where they bought homes and for whatever obscure law was against it, and they figured out afterwards that they couldn't Airbnb it. And so they ended up just kind of sitting on the house. Today's not the Fed meeting. The Fed meeting is Wednesday. Yeah, rate pause. Yeah, we're almost certainly gonna pause. I mean, that's probably what we're gonna do. I mean, again, there's always a chance that we don't, but it's not super probable. Honestly, it's very unlikely. So. So we bought Apple. Again, we're in a little bit. We're up a little bit. We might take profit if it moves up enough. Look at ARM break lows here, guys. ARM down to 58. 58. We got 3 minutes until the market opens. 3 minutes. Apple still moving up, testing highs at 176.20s. Again, ARM down to 58 basically right now, right around 58 bucks. And we got about a minute and a half left, team. A minute and a half left. We'll see what happens. Again, I'm going to take it very careful, very slow today. I just don't think there's any big edge, and I think the market's quiet waiting for the Fed meeting on Wednesday today. So we're going to take it very slow, very steady, not super aggressive, and just try to keep it light. Maybe play with some options later on. Apple, guys, ramp it up here. I'm going to let it keep trying. Again, it's already down so much. I can't help but figure it might be a good move to let it keep trying. Here's the opening bell in 1 minute, guys. 1 minute. And again, just be careful. I'm going to at least try to wait for 5 minutes to pass after the opening bell. I don't want to push too hard into that first few minutes. That's where I've been losing a little bit of money when I've been trading lately at the open. And so I don't want to push too heavy. I want to just kind of let things settle down first. So I'll probably let the first 5 minutes or so pass after the opening bell in about 20 seconds. That way we're a little bit safer and we're not super concerned about, volatility going crazy against us. That's the goal today, and is to trade smart leading into the Fed meeting. Again, a lot of the time ahead of these FOMC decisions, the market's flat. All right, 5 seconds, guys, 5 seconds. Very common that the market's sideways or neutral heading into this release. And again, the data drops Wednesday. We also have some other economic data, but there's the market open right there, team. So there's the market open. All right, Apple's still surging up, so we might consider taking some off here just because we're up so much already on this open. Gonna lock this in since we can. Bring it back down to 15 shares, a little bit closer to where we originally were in, and now we can be a lot more loose on the rest. The Nasdaq's starting to fall down some here. So again, the Nasdaq's starting to dip. Apple's still pushing up. We'll get some music going here in a second as well. Let's make sure we got some music going. There we go. GLTA. My ARM price, we're in like a very small amount here. My ARM price is 63.50s. But we did take most of the profit yesterday or Friday. And so even if it turns against this, we're still going to be okay because we already locked in most of the profit Friday. We had more. We took half of the trade off on Friday. All right, market's looking nice. Apple rip it up too. NASDAQ up as well. We might buy this dip in the NASDAQ here. One contract here. Just made about $80. We're up about 75. So just scalped it really quick on our funded account. So again, just scalped it there on our funded account. We'll give it time to see if we get some better movement here. But again, the job is to patiently wait. I'm like, yeah, I'm going to wait 5 minutes. We're 2 minutes into the open. Let me take a quick trade. Luckily, we were able to get away with the green. But yeah, against my rule there that I made. Luckily, we got out and we didn't want to sit on it too long. So that's nice. But yeah, just be careful, team. All right, big rip up in Apple and everything. The only one that really looks sketch is ARM, to be honest. Everything else we're really nicely green in, including our Apple trade where we're up like a lot. Let me go ahead and lock some more into this on Apple since we can. And we're right at the highs. You love to see it. Again, I thought we might bounce today, guys. Remember, I told you guys I thought we might, and the reason I thought we might was because we were down so much Friday. And again, there's the NASDAQ bouncing. There's Apple bouncing. And so huge rips up, to be honest. Wow. Huge moves up. Huge flying up again. I don't really want to mess with this too much yet. We're trying to be patient and let it roll, even though we are getting some high volatility. Green on the day already, locked in some profit. But just huge NASDAQ action here, huge green. Disney still green. American Express, we're red on that one today. We are red on Honeywell as well, although we were in the green last week. Microsoft's pretty red as well. But again, we're going to let things settle after these dips. We'll see if ARM bounces back up. But look at the NASDAQ fly here, man. The NASDAQ is just on a tear right now. Just huge movement up. Yeah, the Q is the NASDAQ, Steve. Man, look at Apple. Wow. Again, we bought that dip, and that dip worked. What movement. And again, if you want to check out Top Step is what I'm trading on. You can see my funded account progress here. We are green on this funded account program as well. Slow and steady is always how I do it. Like once you're funded, I think the right move is to take it slow and steady. So we're slightly green on this one today. Again, we got a nice little cushion where we could probably swing a little bit harder. Apple, guys, is just tearing up here, man. Wow. We bought the dip earlier, and that dip is treating us well. ARM's starting to move back up too. Where's NVIDIA right now? I haven't looked at NVIDIA yet. And NVIDIA's starting to go back green and give back a lot of these pullbacks that it made. So NVIDIA up a lot. Could have stayed in it, but it's all good. All the way back up to 432s for NVIDIA. So we'll see if it makes another ARM, another move up. But NVIDIA running here, we're getting just now to the point where we might start buying dips. Apple, guys, on this crazy run has not had one red candle since the opening bell. Not one red candle. So a lot of volatility this morning, which is kind of shocking because usually like with this type of stuff, it's kind of sideways and slow. Yeah, Roblox back down to 2740s. I'm in a call option there, but yeah, I don't know where Apple's going to run into resistance. We can also look at NVIDIA. There's ARM finally pulling back some. NVIDIA over 430s, trying to hold as well. But again, if you want to day trade with me on a funded account program, Top Step's the most legit one in the world. They pay out millions, fund thousands of traders a year. Again, what they do is they give you a demo and they test your skill. Just take in the challenge, build your skill. So if you want to get good at day trading, these challenges are really important because they limit your risk. If you lose, you're out $49. If you're good enough to pass it, you get a 90% profit split. So once you pass the funded account program, if you make 10K, you get to keep your first 10K in profit. Anything after that, you get a 90% split. So you keep 90% after that. And it really sets you up to where you have a limited risk relative to putting up the money yourself. But if you're good enough to pass it, which is not going to be most people fail these, right? But it's a lot cheaper to fail this than put the money up yourself. And that's the point, is that it limits your risk, in my opinion. And so if you want to check it out, you can day trade the NASDAQ currencies, gold, silver, the S&P 500 in futures, which is basically the SPY and the Q with no PDT restrictions, right? And so you can check them out here. Great way to help support the channel. You can also find the link in the description. And we might buy this little dip in the NASDAQ. Again, we got a cushion on the day. It just depends on what we think these are going to do. Opening strength so far, but Apple and NVIDIA are going to be two really heavily weighted stocks that we're watching right now. Again, we got a dip here. I don't trust this yet. I need a larger pullback for me personally. There's Apple's dip. There's NVIDIA's dipping back down too. I just don't trust it yet. All right, we'll buy this now. All right, we got a cushion on the day. All right, so we just made more. We're up over 100, or at least 100 on the day right now. Could have held it a little bit longer, I think, but it's all good. We're trying to get the most profitable dip we can. Now we'll look for the dip to play out a little bit more. I just see how much Apple's pulling back right now. And again, luckily, like we dip bought Apple, if you remember, as well. And again, we ended up covering most of that already. So very large pullbacks happening now. NVIDIA testing that VWAP here. We're going to buy this dip now and maybe add a little bit more to this since we can. Take a little bit larger risk since we can. Oof. Not really what I wanted in this funded account, although we'll give it some time to bounce. It looks like it wants to bounce. There we go. See, there we go. Took half off there. Boom. All right, guys. So yeah, we are up in our funded account. Another green day in the books here. We are up 225 on the funded account today. 225. Nice little dip. We saw NVIDIA hit the volume weighted average price, which is what we wanted. We've had a number of really green days in a row on our top step funded accounts right now. So again, so far in this funded account program, just to give you some stats on my time here in this funded account program. So far in this funded account program, let me see if it loads. It took a while to load on my phone. There we go. All right, so it's back. Yeah, so if you include today, we have had 1, 2, 3, 5 green days in a row. In this funded account, we're running over 85% accuracy. Over 85% accuracy. And we're slowly kind of hitting green, green, green. You know, right now we're trying to get out of the scaling plan. So we can get over 1,500 in profit. We'll be able to take 3 contracts over 2,000 in profit. We'll be able to take 5, which is what we want. All right, so very large pullbacks here now, guys. Very large pullbacks right now. So again, we got our green on the day. We're going to go away and pivot to a different funded account now, since we can. Or maybe not a funded account, maybe a combine now. But we got our profit on the day, and I see some reversals happening in markets right now too. So we might pivot to a more short-based trading strategy if we can. So again, we might pivot to a more short-based trading strategies if we can. All right, so let's see. All right, there we go. All right, there we go. All right, we're in the right one. Big reversals happening right now in the NASDAQ here. Look at this big reversal. Apple's still holding, though. NVIDIA is really what's weighing the market down. A lot of the market's following NVIDIA. SPY is completely reversed. So now the SPY is leading the NASDAQ on the downside here. It looks weak. I'm going to short this. It's kind of risky. And this is a funded account program. This is a combine account now. So watch NVIDIA. Again, NVIDIA is going to lead a lot of this. So Apple looking weak too. So we're going to add to this. Get up to 3 contracts here if we keep bouncing up, and then maybe keep it at that. Two contracts so far. Pretty flat on this one. NVIDIA really is influencing this a lot. So like that's what I'm watching to judge what I'm going to do here is NVIDIA. If NVIDIA starts to reject, it confirms my trade short. Here we go. There's the breakdown. We got 2 contracts here. Close, but watch Apple too. Apple kind of bouncing back up. I'll add 1 more contract to this and just get punished for it, it looks like. Very close to cutting it. If it breaks the highs, we'll have to. Come back down. There we go. Patience. I'm going to take some off here to protect the trade. That way it's not like a crazy big loss, and we're kind of flat on the trade now in case it rejects back up, or in case it pops back up like it is. So this way, a much smaller loss than it would have been, even on the fake out. Yeah, we're going to have to cover that. All right, so we're down, but we're not down nearly as much as we would have been if we would have waited. So, yeah, much better average here. So, again, we'll give it some time now. We're right in the middle range. I think we're going to break down, though, here, and I think my original thesis was correct. I see NVIDIA falling back down some, and the NASDAQ seems to be high up. There's Apple breaking under the VWAP here, so we're going to add some more to this. I just think we're going to break down. There we go. Popped up a little bit. You know, you got to take risks in these funded account programs. Again, we're already funded, and so we can have fun with some of these and take some risks. I just took half off, locked some in. Took another half off, locked some in. And then we're letting the rest break down. All right, so we're flat on the day, basically. So that last trade just got us pretty much flat on the funded account program. And again, if we would have just stayed in it patiently, we would have been fine. But we got wicked out, which is okay. It happens. But look at Apple and NVIDIA breakdown here. This is a weak looking sign. There's the breakdown. NVIDIA, Apple, both looking very weak. Luckily, we bought that dip on Apple and we took profit. So that's what we wanted to see, and that's what we got. But all right, so we're holding a little bit. You can see NVIDIA start to pop. You can see Apple start to bounce back up too. Heavily weighted stocks. NVIDIA is going to be the one that influences it. You can kind of see it down here on the right. You can also look for Tesla here too, but look at that pop back up here. Big bounce. Again, that's going to have my hands off for now. I'm not going to mess with this. Going to have to wait. Look at NVIDIA rip back up, testing highs of the day now, so or highs of market hours at least. So NVIDIA back up to 430s. 430s for NVIDIA. You can see that support level. One thing that's interesting, again, people can say whatever they want about my technical analysis. But like, look at this support level. So if you watch the stream, I had this level drawn from last week. All right. So again, my levels, you know, this level was drawn well before this bounce here, and you can see exactly where the market bounces. Like, look at this. So it pulls back to this level that was previously on my chart already and then bounced directly off of it, which is kind of nice. Again, it confirms my technical analysis. I don't know if anybody else noticed that, but like, look at it down. People say technical analysis doesn't work, but if it doesn't work, explain this. You know, like, explain that if it doesn't work. Yeah, Tesla down a lot, but Tesla was up so much and didn't really have a big negative reaction yesterday either way. So, yeah. NVIDIA testing highs here, team. Starting to move back up. Look at NASDAQ rip up. NVIDIA breaking the 432 level. Apple still under VWAP, though, bouncing back a little bit. Again, remember what I said. I said it could be a big range, but sideways day. NVIDIA back over 430s. Or back over 431s. I'm going to buy this dip short term. Again, we're basically flat on the day, basically completely flat. And so we'll take a little bit of risk here because we can, since we're back to flat or neutral. Patience. Locked it in. All right, so now we are green, $60 on the day or 50 bucks on the day here. We might add it back if we dip more. There we go. I guess I could have stayed in it. I'm not worried about it, but the goal is to scale into a larger trade because I think we're going to run or bounce a little bit. There's the bounce. All right, so just made another 80 bucks or so. We are now up a little bit more than that. There's the pop-up that we wanted. Look at NVIDIA, guys. NVIDIA's dragging the market up. And remember, I told you to watch NVIDIA. This is why. Look at NVIDIA on the bottom right. This is NVIDIA right here. Starting to run. Again, you'll have to understand the nature of the market, which is AI. AI is wildly influencing everything. And so when NVIDIA gets really weak, traders are looking for a bounce. And then when NVIDIA is down big over a few day period, it's just so likely that we're going to bounce back up because of extension. And NVIDIA has a lot of traders watching it as well. So NVIDIA is what's influencing this bounce without question. We'll see if it keeps it up. Again, we've already had 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 green candles in a row for NVIDIA, though. So I'm going to wait for a small pullback and then maybe buy into it, looking for another bounce. And we can start to add to a position here. And if it goes up in our favor on one contract, great. If it dips more, we can add. That's the plan. And up 80. $75. Like I'm up like almost $100 on this trade already, but I want to give it time to run more. And if it doesn't, like I said, I'll add a little bit to it since we have a cushion on the day. I need it to dip enough to be worthwhile, though. All right, so there's 2 contracts here. We might add one more. We might just keep it at this. Because, again, we already made it almost $300 on our funded account. And this is one of our combine accounts. And so the goal is to take risks and try to get funded on one of these. All right, so we got 2 contracts here. Or 3 contracts. Oh, I didn't notice I took that much. I'll let it work. but with the goal is to exit close to flat right here. So I'm going to get out half right there just to protect the trade. So that was actually a flat trade. So now we're much cleaner here. It's much smaller risk, even if it doesn't hold. Yeah, we're getting pretty close to cutting it now. Again, we got to watch NVIDIA closely because NVIDIA is going to be what's weighing the rest of the market. I don't want to get like a deer in the headlights thing with this either, where I'm just stuck here looking. And so a lot of the time what I'll do is I'll look for like the bottom wicks of these candlesticks, and I'll say, okay, if we break under that, I got to get out, and just kind of draw a line in the sand on the chart. I think it's important for risk management to do that, so you don't just kind of freeze up, which can happen a lot of the time in trading. And that way you can limit your risk, but also give it time to work, is kind of what the mentality of this is. All right, so look at NVIDIA start to run up a little bit too. Sometimes these things will wick down and try to stop you out real quick before the run. But look, there's NVIDIA starting to bounce back up. It looks strong. Yeah, NVIDIA starting to pop. Let's see if it drags the NASDAQ up with it. Again, we have our risk established, and we got to just kind of stick to it. All right, that's better. Closer to flat. Oh, no, we're not back down. Very close to cutting this one now. Yeah, we gotta get out. It might actually fake us out right here, but it's all right. Wait. It didn't refresh. Okay, that's good. Well, I don't know why it didn't refresh. Let me pull up the E-mini, I guess. See if that makes it refresh. A little bit of lag here. I'm putting up other symbols, and it's taking a long time to actually like show up on the chart, which is odd. The entries are kind of strange too. Yeah, we're trying to put up the E-mini and it's like frozen. So my computer's laggy today. I don't know why. Do we have the home builder data? One day. Yeah, it's not really a big release though, in all honesty. It's just a small one. So it's all good, guys. I'm probably gonna go ahead and close it down. I'm lagging a little bit on my end, and so I'm not really trying to toy with it too much. Again, we're nicely green though on the day in our actual funded account. So I'll see you guys a little bit later. Yeah, I mean, Jay, you say the same thing every day. which is all right. I mean, listen, be bearish. That's okay. But yeah, anyways, guys, like I said, you want to check out Top Step. Top Step is a funded account program for futures. Here's me on my funded account today. So we had no losses on this funded account. We are up $220. And if you want to trade a funded account with me, check out Top Step, funded account program for futures, where they give you a demo, they test your skill. And if you can hit the target while following their rules, they fund you between 50 to 150K with a 90% split. Check out the link. Great way to help support the channel. Again, check out Chart Prime. Chart Prime is a trading view service where they show you all these different things. You know, you can see I show alerts on different stocks. I can put up oscillators. I can see where reversals are potentially happening. All this good stuff. Again, the other way to look at it, like, and I think the time frame matters. Let me get some of these smart money concepts off the chart. Let me get the chart patterns. We'll leave that up, and we'll just leave the. But look, so I'm going to put up an hourly chart on Chart Prime. So this is an hourly chart. We'll put up this one. We'll put up the Market Oracle Pro. We'll put up chart patterns. Look at the hourly chart here. And so again, what I like to do is I like to group multiple together. And you can kind of see how that works too. So like, check this out. Like when you group multiple together, look, here's a reversal sign with an engulfing candle and a sell signal. Look at the big negative price action you get. Look at the reversal up and the buy signal grouped together. Look at the nice bounce. Sell signal here, drop. All that good stuff. And again, strong buy signal here, bounce until the bearish engulfing candle where you get the drop. It's just useful to group them together. And these are hourly time frames. So these are much more long-term time frames. What is going on with my freaking phone? I got this phone. It gives me too many alerts. I got to turn notifications off somewhere. But yeah, check it out, guys. Chart Prime Trading View Indicator Service. Check out the link in the description if you want more data. I'll see you guys a little bit later. Y'all be safe. Y'all be good. And it's like $40 a month. Stocks, crypto, Forex futures. You can use it on all these different ones. Market's pretty flat. Remember, the FOMC meeting is Wednesday, so the market might just stay sideways leading into it. And so just be smart. Take it slow. Remember, the market could be sideways and choppy today. There's not much going on. And yeah, I'll see you guys tomorrow.